Okay, we have received additional troubleshooting procedures from Paul, and he has asked that we power down the unit, which we have, and to move the rack to the center position by hand, and then turn it back on and see if it performs a homing response. So I'm going to move the rack to its center position. I'm now going to power the unit back on. And as you can see, the unit's up, and it does not rehome itself. It goes right to the screen as though it were ready. The GUI is back up. Everything seems to be as it was. Paul states that he is 90% confident that the issue is a hardware issue related to the stepper motor or driver, since the software becomes stuck in an infinite loop when trying to home. And he lists several scenarios as to what the problems could be. That there's either no power to the Gecko Drive stepper motor driver, there's a loose wire between the Gecko Drive stepper motor driver and the PCB, the Gecko Drive stepper motor driver is faulty, there's a bad connection between the Gecko Driver stepper motor driver and the stepper motor itself, or the stepper motor is faulty. So we have some additional steps he's asked us to perform, and we're going to check and see if there are any LEDs lit on the Gecko Drive 203V stepper motor driver. I don't recall seeing any red lights that would indicate a fault condition. However, I'm going to move in here and see if we can shed some light on this. Now, I do see, perhaps Paul can see this as well, there are some red lights on, and as far as the Gecko Drive itself is concerned, it's hard to tell whether there's actually anything on, but as you can barely see, there is a green power light on. But I did notice something interesting as I was coming through doing my testing. If you look here, perhaps you can see there is some burned circuitry in here. I'm going to try to not shed so much light on it, perhaps. But look at this. As you can see, there is, looks as though one of the CMOS chips has blown out in here. Perhaps I can get some light from the top, and that would be a little better. It does look as though there's been some type of high voltage situation here that has snapped the CMOS on this board. This is right above, I'm going to back out so you can have a better idea of where this is located. Now, not sure as to configuration or what these are connected to, as I don't have a schematic, but I'm believing that's not a good thing. I am going to, however, proceed with Paul's testing and determine what kind of results we have from that. I got some conflicting information earlier, but I'm going to proceed with his steps again, and I'll document that as I go. But however, that's where we stand at the moment. There are several lights on in here. I know red is not necessarily a good thing. I'm going to proceed with voltage tests and even some additional testing of my own. I know that Paul was curious about some ohm readings or resistance readings, and I'm going to check the phase A and phase A minus and check resistance between them with a multimeter. And I'm also going to check resistance to be between to be 3.2 ohms. If it's less than 2 ohms or open circuit, then I'm sure the winding is either shorted or open circuitry in the motor is faulty. But I'm honestly leaning towards the fact that we have a micro component on this board that is completely blown out. Sorry for the shaky video, but that's my thinking anyway. So that can't really be a good thing. Alright, I will continue with my steps and ohm readings and follow up shortly.